Welcome back to the Even If podcast. I'm Kenzie.
And I'm Sarah. And even if last year was good, bad, or maybe not what you expected, his mercies are new every morning and it's a new day. Let's welcome 2025.
2025. Today we are going to catch y'all up on the last month. We took December. We did not record. We didn't post anything. So we just want to catch you guys up on the last month, talk 2025, our goals, our prayers, how we're feeling about the new year, all the things.
Yeah. How was your December? How was the time off for you? Because it's crazy. I mean, first of all, we're so happy to be back.
I know. It's so good to be back. So fun. It's so good to be back.
Feels like forever kind of.
I know, it really does.
Done this. But yeah, how was your December? How was the break? How was the time off?
It was
the holidays?
Best. It was the best. I got to start December off by going on a missions trip to the DR with just the most incredible people. And I was gone for a week, completely off the grid, phone on Do Not Disturb, not on social media. I mean, it was just, it was a week that I will treasure for the rest of my life. It was so wonderful. And then I got home and I just didn't want to jump back into my life. I wanted to take time and just be. And I think going into December, both Sarah and I were just like praying through, like, we just both felt in our heart, like, let's just take a month and take a beat. And we didn't want to record. We really wanted to just rest. I think both of us were just really exhausted from the year. And so for me, December was, I truly just rested. And as an achiever, as somebody that's always busy, I just didn't feel like doing anything. And that's not like me. So I just let that be true. Yeah. And I leaned into it.
Yeah.
And it was the best.
How was it? Do you
it
feel
was
like
so good.
Slow days and
because
I mean, obviously, days. I assume full ride is probably maybe a little slower because people are traveling.
Yes, it was. December is always a really dead month, especially in Nashville because it's such like a transplant city. So people are always gone, and I still teach. We were closed. We were closed Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Nice.
We still had classes, but I have had 2024 was a hustle year. I ran fast, and with work, it was wonderful, but my body was just towards the end of the year, it was like, please just, I can't. My mind, I think I just had to also just not get caught up in keeping up with the Joneses, not looking at other fitness studios and what they're doing. And I just needed to hear from the Lord and rest. And I feel like he was telling me, just stop. Like I had no desire to be on social media, which I normally love doing and sharing my heart. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave my phone in my house and go for a walk with my dogs, which I did a lot. I went to bed really, really early. I slept in. I spent time with the Lord in ways that I have not done. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I did that. And I feel like for me as a business owner, for me as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend, I was doing that in preparation for 2025. It was like my hibernation month.
Love that.
And I feel like I just am so restored and so at peace. I feel so at ease. Yeah. And now I'm like, I'm chomping at the bit.
You feel like you're coming out of it.
Yeah, I'm coming out of it, which is so cool. Yeah. It was so cool to feel that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What about you? How was your December? Tell me.
Yeah, it was good. It was same. I had my book release in November and I feel like that was crazy. I was posting so much and posting on social media and social media in general and marketing is just
it's
more draining for me. Like it just takes effort and time. Yeah. I enjoy it. It just takes time. And so I think to have done that and seen an amazing response, book sales.
Crushed it.
Was so fun.
Crushed
and
it.
Encouraging. And then I just feel like I kind of took a pause. Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to push this right now. I was going to do some book signings and readings. And I just thought, I'm on a break.
Yeah.
And I'm good. Like, I'm so proud of Cowgirl Mermaid. I'm excited about it. And I am good. Yeah. And then us taking a break with the podcast was a nice rest in that, just of taking time off. Yeah. And then the school that I work at is obviously on Christmas break. And then my clients and my own coaching business have slowed down also just with the travel. And so it truly has been such a restful month.
So good.
And it's the same. It's like, I feel like I have slowed down and taken time to just read and journal and be intentional. But also with that, the lack of structure for me personally is hard. Sometimes like I feel like my workouts haven't been as regular and things like that you're the same as you. I'm like ready to get back to the routine at least and just having that structure. But I think it is good to slow down and be intentional about what we're doing.
And then you really enjoy it. Like, I feel like when you do let your body kind of eat what it wants kind of, not as strict a routine, hardly working out, all those kinds of things, then you're like, you have this newfound appreciation and desire to go do those things. And your body needs rest. We're both trainers. Like, we know how this is. We know that we'll jump right back into it. I think it's also rare when we're like slacking on our workouts, for lack of a better word. But then it's like, we jump into it and we're like, yeah, no, our body needed it.
Yeah.
It needed a break. You needed a break.
Yeah.
You work multiple different jobs in different areas. You launched a podcast, you launched a book. It was a lot. And I think it takes a lot of confidence to be able to just say no and rest. And how has your new year been? Because now we're in 2025.
We're in 2025. Yeah, no, it's been good. I think I always just love a new year. I love a new year. I love a birthday. I love the start of a school year.
Birthday is coming up.
It is coming up. Yeah. I just love the mark of fresh and new start. And not that you can't do that any time of the year, but I think just like for me, I really love the intentionality of slowing down and reflecting. And I think it's a good excuse to pull out my journals, to take time to do that. And it's so fun. My new year actually started so fun. I did a polar plunge, which I hate the cold.
Oh, I hate it
so
too.
much. Hate it so much. But I
saw this on Instagram. You just jump right in.
I was like, what?
It was awful. It was so cold.
It was
on New Year's Day
degrees.
too.
It's this thing that I have some friends that do it out in Dixon, Tennessee, and they've been doing it like 15 years or so. And when I'm in town and have the courage, I'll do it.
Oh my gosh.
It's different than when I used to live in Charleston and we would do a polar plunge in the ocean because it was just not as cold as creeks here in Tennessee that are like flowing water.
Oh, I'm cold just thinking about it.
Yeah, no, it's freezing. But then I actually went squirrel hawking after,
which cracked me up.
So fun. It was just the best way to ring in the new year. January 1st, outside. I'm out there going hunting with a big old hawk and catching squirrels. And it was just so
not with you.
Fun.
Oh my gosh, you're hilarious.
Classic Tennessee thing.
Classic
anyways,
Tennessee girl.
It was really good. Really good. But okay, I'm so excited to jump into this. We have some fun things to talk about.
Yes.
And we have your vision board in here right now behind us in the studio. We have the vision board. We have some of my journals, and we're just going to kind of dive into some of this. So I actually haven't even heard about this vision board, and I saw it on Instagram and was like, I am so excited to hear more. So can you share? It's this beautiful little poster behind us with some magazine clippings, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tell us about it. What is this?
Okay. So I love a new year. I'm like a big, I love dates. I think dates are really significant. I'm a big planner. I wouldn't say I'm type A, but I'm close to that probably. Like, I just love to make a plan and go execute.
Yeah.
And this year, usually I write goals and, have them in my categories, professional, spiritual, all these things. And this year I just felt this common theme of hope the last 6 weeks. In the last December, I have a saying for the year, and I've never had a saying for the year. I usually have a saying every month, like a word every month.
Yeah.
This year I have a saying, and it's kind of two-part. The first part I heard about it, I was in Austin, and I was at church with some friends, and there was this phrase that the pastor said of uncommon hope. And I was like, wow, uncommon hope. I love that. And then one of my best friends in my Bible study, she constantly tells me, Kenzie, expect a miracle. And she was praying over me before I left for the missions trip. And I just heard the Lord say, I want you to expect a miracle with uncommon hope in 2025. And it was so clear. I started crying, and I was just like, oh my gosh, yes, I feel so hopeful about my year. And I think a lot of it came from, I think, one of the greatest gifts we can ever have is to lose everything we were never meant to keep. And that was 2024 for me.
That's perspective for sure.
So it was just a cleansing, an excavation, a losing of, money and a relationship and employees and all that stuff. So my vision board, I was like, I actually this year really want to have a visual vision board instead of just things written down in my journal. So I went to Michael's and I got this canvas painting board, and I ordered some magazines online, and basically I just went through magazines for a couple of days of just things that stood out to me after I had kind of been praying through my focuses for the year. And so basically what I have is I have my saying for the year, which says expect a miracle with uncommon hope. And then something that's pretty vulnerable to share, but it's also just honest. I'm really praying for that I'll meet the person that God has for me this year. And I'm okay to say that, even if it doesn't happen, because again, what's our podcast called?
Yeah.
Even if. Like,
Even
I want to claim that though. I want to ask the Lord. I've never asked the Lord, like, okay, Lord, bring him to me. Like, I'm ready to meet the person that you have for me. Because I never felt fully ready, if I'm honest. And I have never been in a place that I'm at right now. Like, I am just this woman that I'm really proud to be. And I feel like the Lord has placed me in different situations the last few months. And I've literally in my mind gone, whoa, that's not at all how I would have responded before. Or, wow, my heart just feels so cleansed, or my mind feels so at ease. Like, this is so wild and weird. And then I'm like, no, wait, of course it is. You've done so much work.
You see him in you.
I can
like
see
his
him
power, his
in my whole body and my heart and my mind and everything. So I'm like, you know what? I'm claiming that. And I asked some friends, like, just how to be praying for that. Like, what does that look like? And then just to specifically be praying for that. So that's part on the vision board of just like wanting that person and believing for the impossible, because it does feel impossible at times, of course. So I have pictures of that and sayings, you are not too old and it is not too late. Steward what's in front of you. One of my favorite verses is Romans 5:3-5. And so not only, but we rejoice in the sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character. And you know that verse that keeps going. So that's at the center. Pray for wisdom. People are the treasure. So I have a lot of just like people, because people are my favorite thing in the world. And then just trusting God's timing, hopes kind of throughout the entire vision board. And then I've got some podcast stuff of Sarah's and my goals. So we have some pictures of podcast stuff. I want to read, one of my things this year is, I want to read a book every month. And I know that sounds so silly, but I just have not done that. And
that's great.
This year I'm leading a Bible study, and then I'm in a Bible study. So that's 2 Bible studies. So we've got 2 books, and then I want to read a book for me. So I already have those books already planned out and ready to go. So there's no, like, I'm holding myself accountable to that. And then I'm going to Sabbath every Sunday, which means for me, no working, which is like, I usually work on Sundays, an hour or 2, no working at all, no social media, no working out, just completely like letting that day, going to church, and then letting 52
that day weeks,
for 52 days. Yeah. Every Sunday I'm going to Sabbath. And of course there might be a day where like I have to sub a class or something. Like, I'm not going to, that's another thing I think is really important, not to beat yourself up if you can't, it's just like part of why I think resolutions can be unhealthy at times, because if we don't hold ourselves to whatever we say we're going to do, I think it's important to just let it be fluid.
Sure.
So,
but the intention and the goal is to have Sundays off.
Yep.
You time, self-care kind of thing.
Self-care kind of
obviously
thing.
If something comes up, we're not going to be rigid about.
Exactly.
Got it.
Like,
Love
I'm
it.
not going to be rigid. I'm just not a rigid person in general. Like, my personality is not like that. So I think that's not difficult for me. But I do think in the past I would have beaten myself up if I didn't do the thing that I said I would do. And so that's why I think it's really important when you set your goals. I've really learned over the course of my life, they don't need to be realistic. Like, you should have your big, hairy, audacious goal, your BHAG goal. I think it's really important to write it down or have it visually up. But I also think to show yourself a lot of grace. And also, before you even do that, just really, what is your intention? Like, if your goals are, how do I say this? Not biblical, or maybe not heaven sent in a way, I think it can be really difficult. Like, that's why with me, it's like, I want to know Jesus and love him deeper. And that's why I'm claiming like, hey, I would love to meet my person, but I also know, hey, that's not in my control. Yeah. So I think there's certain things that are in my control, like making sure that I touch my Bible before I touch my phone in the morning, and go to bed at a reasonable hour if I have to get up at 5 a.m. and just like, there's things that are discipline and like that are in my control. And those are the things that I want to be really intentional on. But the things that I have no control over, like bring my person into my life, Lord, or certain things like that, are obviously fluid, but it's really fun to have it up. And I'm going to be like redoing my loft with some of the stuff that's now in storage that I got back from Austin. So I'm really excited to have my things in here and just kind of make it me and put this up and just start the year that way. So,
well, what I think is so cool about a vision board, and that you actually made it and not just like Pinterest one or wrote it down. Like, I think it is so cool. I want to make one.
You should.
I should. But I think it's like, we talk about, we want a man who has a vision and know where he's headed. Yes. And I think as women, as believers, like we have our vision,
Yes.
we know where we're headed,
Yeah.
but like what does that mean? What does that look like? And what are the details?
Yeah.
And to have this and look at it and as a reminder of this is where I'm headed. This is the vision. This is Romans 5:3-5. It says pray for wisdom on here. It says to be set apart. It says to be debt free. Like these things, that's your vision. That's where you're headed. And I think that gives you clarity.
It does.
It gives you clarity of what does this year look like? And when you feel confused about, is this where I'm headed? You can go back to your vision board and be like, is this on track?
Yeah. Does it align with my, I've always been somebody that's very intentional with my yes and my no. As I've gotten older, I say no a lot more. And so it's also a really cool way for me to look at my board and go, does this align with the person I want to become? Yes or no?
Love it.
And I think I know there's going to be really hard days ahead, and I'm going to feel discouraged, and the enemy's going to be in my head, and I'm going to be exhausted and drained and discouraged in so many ways. And I'll look at this board and be like, well, we said this and we're going to hold on to hope for this thing. And I think it's kind of similar to why I have tattoos on my body. I was talking about this the other day with some of my friends. They're all reminders and they're all biblically based. And so for me, it's like, but I come back to the word. I come back to the truth. And as long as I have those things as my foundation, I'm going to be lifted back up again. So that's why I think it's really important when you are goal setting or setting out your dreams or your prayers that they're really intentional and like, the leading force in your life is the Lord.
Yeah.
Because you will not fail. Like you will not fail. You'll be discouraged at times, and that's why he's there. So I think just having a really healthy mindset around setting your goals, and just want to encourage anyone that is doing that, like have them be based on the Lord and his goodness and his favor. And you're not going to be discouraged, and you're going to get the endurance, and you're going to get the wisdom, and you're going to get the joy from him to fulfill your goals and the things that you want to get accomplished.
Yeah.
So, okay. So tell me about you. How do you prepare for a new year?
Well, I'm laughing because I posted this on Instagram, like over the new year. I was looking through my journals.
I was laughing when I saw this. It's
so many journals.
The best.
And I brought a few in today. I'll have to show you.
Yeah. Show me. I saw this on Instagram and I was just like, oh my gosh, we are so the same.
And I haven't thrown any of them away, which I think is hilarious. Yeah, and I don't know what to do with them.
Don't ever throw
So I
them
brought
out.
one of my first ones I could find that is November 2005. And my favorite part of it is it says, don't look on the front.
Don't look.
Like as if I have some juicy gossip to say in 2005.
Seriously, brothers,
when
do
I
not
was,
go.
I mean,
how old are we in 2005? What, 14, 15?
Yeah, I guess maybe it was some juicy gossip. But
yeah,
I mean, you open up and I'm going to give y'all some sneak peeks.
Please do.
This is what November 28th, 2005.
I can't wait for this. Am I going to?
I'm so mad today.
That's the first line. Also, that's so not you. So what the heck? I'm so mad today.
I wish I could go to Josh's basketball game, but Jacob had to be sick, so I can't go. I'm so mad.
Oh,
Josh and Jacob are my brothers. So I guess I wanted to go to my brother's basketball game, but my other brother was sick and I couldn't go.
That's hilarious.
And that's what I decided to journal about that day. Oh my gosh, this is so funny.
Epic.
I love journaling, and I truly have. I have journals from every single year.
I also love that you put the dates on the front of them.
I did that later. I kept all of them, and then I actually ended up going through them later.
Really like
and
that.
I would look because I typically will do a journal a year, and some of them are mid-year. Like this one says June 2014 to May 2015. Love. Because
I love that you do this. Yeah.
I did that. But yeah, I went back and labeled all of them so I could easily go and look through. But I feel like I have people ask often, how do you journal or what does it mean to journal? Yeah. And I think it's something that I have had a rhythm of truly since middle school. And part of that is it was modeled for me. My mom does it every single morning when I would come downstairs. I'd come down to get ready for school and she's always on the couch reading her Bible and journaling.
Wow.
And I think that was something that she just modeled and I took after. Love. And it really is funny to look through these journals because that is what I was writing about when I was 14 about I'm so mad. I mean, I was reading earlier in some of these and I was like journaling about I was at a wrestling match today at Page Middle School and I needed to get picked up, but I couldn't because I don't have a phone because my parents won't give me a phone. I'm so mad. They don't understand. And I'm like, that was what was important though. Yeah. And that was what was important. And it also does give me perspective to look back and reflect, especially now being a life coach and coaching middle school girls. And when I hear them talk about these things that they're upset about, I have grace for it because I look back and I read what I was writing about and I'm literally talking about
so wise.
How awful my parents are because they didn't give me a phone when I was 14, 15.
Yeah.
And
wow, that's good.
It's really cool to see like those things matter to me though. Or I have a couple pages in here where I was like, I I have to delete my messages because my inbox is full. You know, text back in the day, we had to do that, remember? Yeah. But I was like, I'm going to write a few down. And it is so funny to read what I thought was important to write down. Like, but you're way too sweet. August 3rd. Another one, August 4th. Oh yeah, a bunch of money and date money for you. Ha ha.
What?
Like, these are the texts that I thought were important enough to write
hilarious.
Down. Isn't that crazy?
Cute. It's so wild and so, it's so innocent.
It is so
sweet.
innocent to the point that I felt like it was worth 3 pages to write about. And
3 big pages.
3 big pages. This is a huge spiral bound notebook.
That's amazing.
And that's what mattered.
I love it.
I think what's so fun about New Year's is I will flip through some of these and just see what the Lord has done. And then I bookmarked a few others that I just want to share. Like, this was November 2014. So we're 10 years later from that first one. And I was looking through this the other day, and my journals started turning more into prayers. And at this point, I am traveling around the world. I think I was in New Zealand at the time, and I'll just read a part of it, but I'm writing, God, you're amazing. I continually fail over and over again in countless ways. I'm selfish. I neglect you. I sin. And at the end of it all, and in the midst of it all, you are still there. Now that's love. Thank you, Lord, for loving me. Thank you for continually pursuing me. You know my every desire and all my thoughts, even when I can't put them to words. And for that, I'm so grateful. And that's love.
Yeah.
And it just, it's like, so it's a release. It's just writing where I'm at, what I'm feeling. I'm in the middle of New Zealand. I don't know anybody in this country.
Wow.
And that was what was on my heart.
Yeah.
And I think it's sweet too, because I will write about dates I go on and guys who impacted me and what I learned from them. And especially when it's like a few months later, oh, I miss him. I wonder what that was like. And I look back and I read, no, I remember the disrespect, or I remember the lack of pursuit, or I remember these things because I took the time to write it down.
It's powerful.
This one is November 2017, and it was around Thanksgiving. And I wrote, a few days ago, I was trying to think of what I'm thankful for, and I was in a sad self-pity place of thinking there's nothing. I was mad about my job, my income, my singleness, how I feel surrounded by couples, and all I could think to be thankful for in that moment was, I guess I'm healthy. Yesterday, I was nauseous all evening and I felt sick. It was a reminder that there's more. Even when I'm sick, there's so much to be thankful for. My family really is so wonderful. Friends are great, and I'm in plenty. God, you are so good. I have a house, car, clothes, money, and so much more. I'm beyond blessed. And it's just funny how even when we write things, it's like you're slowly writing these things. And I'm like, what am I complaining about? And I think that is the power of journaling to me, is just being able to do that. And Lord, reveal this to me and show me and let me see where I need to grow and what I need to learn. And so, yeah, it has just been powerful. And to look back and see those things has been super cool.
Wow.
But I was also going to say, so with that, I think I will take time to look through some old journals and reflect and just read them. But something I've been doing with my best friend for probably like 5 years now, Jacqueline, she and I have gone through this little study. And at the beginning of every journal, we write, look back and look forward. And it just has some prompts, and maybe I can post it in the show notes.
Yeah, please do.
And it was actually from Magnolia, you know, Chip and Joanna.
Yes.
I think they released this in like, maybe it was 2020.
Okay.
So maybe it's been 4 or 5 years since she and I have done this specific one, but it's really cool because it gives you some questions of like, what were standouts from this year? And it says songs, books, movies, travel, feelings, sounds, tastes, smells. And I think what's cool about that is I'm like,
wow,
tastes. Like that, like what's a standout of tastes from 2024?
Whoa.
And then I think about it, I'm like, sourdough. I was making a lot of bread.
Whoa.
And then I think about beef and eggs, because that's all I eat. And like, it's just like when I look back and reflect, wow, I really was going to the farmer's market. I was super intentional about grass-fed beef. And,
that's cool.
You know, like free-range eggs, and then protein powder, collagen, because that was important. And then I wrote Chef Jeff's cooking, my dad, like he cooked a lot of meals, and it's fun to categorize it. And like, that's the
powerful
tastes of that year. And then it has other questions. And so again, y'all should look at this in the show notes. It's just a fun way to have some prompts as you reflect.
Yeah, it's important.
And who impacted me, who I impacted, and then what is my hope for next year? And I wrote that too for my hope for 2025 is marriage and family. And I wrote that, and it's like,
I'm so proud of you.
Even if it doesn't happen,
exactly.
Yes, he is still good. But I'm also going to write it down because it's okay that I will look through these journals and I can see in the past 10, 15 years, I have been praying for my husband and it hasn't happened. But I'm going to continually keep praying, and I'm going to write it down. And I'm going to hope for it. And why not?
Why not?
you know, and so
why not? I always say, like, what if it's wonderful? What if it works out?
What if?
Because if it doesn't, I mean, Tim Ferriss has this analogy. I mean, it's not biblical or anything, but it applies of like play out worst case scenario.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he has you go through this whole thing of like play out the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Is it really your worst case scenario? And I've done that so many times. It's not.
Oh, sorry. I dreamed big because I really want to get married.
I really want to get married. Who doesn't want to? I mean, it's
Right.
I mean, there are people out there that feel called to singleness, but like,
Yes,
it's honest. And I think we're at a point in our life where it's like, it's now we're making that like declaration of like, Lord.
Mm-hmm. I think it's easy to be like, if this is your will, Lord. And I think that's still a good heart posture to have, right?
Yes.
Like, because at the end of the day, Lord, if it is your will, yes. And he asks us to be honest with him. He asks us for the desires of our hearts. So I'm going to say my desire, Lord.
You are.
I know you know, but here I am telling you, like, I'm ready to be married.
Yep.
And I'm going to say that for 2025 and see what you do. And at the end of the year, if I'm reflecting and I'm like, wow, I believed big, but Lord, you had other plans. Let it be.
Yeah.
Let it be.
Yeah. Because
But I'm
every
writing
other
it
year
down.
he's done that, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's so true. I mean, people ask me all the time too. And it's like, I look back, I'm like, my answer to being single is haven't met the one yet. The one worth marrying. I don't believe like there's one perfect person, but I haven't met the one that the Lord knows. And two, thank you, Lord, for also making sure I don't marry anyone I've previously dated. So it's like,
right, totally.
even if
They weren't
we
the
say,
one.
hey, we want to meet our person this year, and it doesn't work out, we'll look back and be like, oh yeah, okay, I can see why. And another reason why, as you're writing down all this evidence and these things that you experienced over the last 10, 15 years, I'm the same way. I journal exactly like that. I get to go back and go, oh my gosh, look at all these miracles and the moments of the way that the Lord showed up and how much I've grown. And I can't believe I used to think that way. Or here's some truth. I thought he was this one way, but no, look at what it really was like. I was idolizing that in my head. All these things that journals become proof. And I think a great way to get started in journaling is, make them your prayers to the Lord. Write it down.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And I think like the honesty, it's helpful too when we can look back and see like where I was, and it's not always easy. And I look back and I'm like, gosh, that was so hard, but I'm so grateful I wrote down how real it was and how hard it was, because I can see, oh my gosh, I came out of it. And I mean, I could truly I just flipped open to this page in one and it was like, God, I'm asking for help. I don't want to question or doubt you, but I feel like I am. I'm hurt. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
So
I doubted him because now I'm like, I trust him fully, but I know I'll doubt again.
Yeah.
I know I'll question again. I'm human.
You're human.
I wrote, Lord, help me fight these feelings. I want to trust you and your greater plan. Thank you for your provision and goodness, even when I can't see it. Also funny how many even ifs.
I know.
Even when.
Dude, I was literally just thinking that. It's crazy how often the even if comes up, even in conversation.
I know.
You know, because I think it is such a powerful, just saying a faith. Like it is faith. Faith is even if. And
yeah.
And so I think we're being bold in our biggest prayer and hope for 2025. And also because we're saying this on the podcast, we want to encourage, if that's in your heart, like ask the Lord for it.
Write it down. Make a vision board. Be honest.
Be honest. I struggle with a lot of my life. I've struggled with making things known or saying them out loud for fear of disappointment. If I say it out loud, well, then there's a chance that I could get excited or I don't want to picture something in my head that hasn't happened, because most likely it's not going to happen that way. It couldn't be that good.
Yeah.
And it won't happen that way. So I don't be discouraged, but I really want to lean into that fear and not be afraid to say the thing that I really want or the thing that I really pray for, and not worry about this discouragement, or the heartache or the pain or whatever. I mean, I've experienced all those things in my life. So why am I not going to just boldly stand in this year and go, I'm praying that I meet the one this year.
Sure. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. So with New Year's stuff, what do you think about like when it's a new year and it's like time for resolutions, like New Year's goals? What's your New Year's resolution? Like, would you say you have a New Year's resolution? I mean, obviously you have a vision. We have reflections.
Yeah.
What about resolutions? What does that feel
resolutions?
like for you?
I feel like resolutions, there's a lot of pressure around resolutions. I think because if you go into the new year and you're like, I'm not going to drink, and then 4 days in you have a drink, or I'm not going to scroll on my phone before bed, and 3 days in you do that. Like there's some things habitually that you have to break if you want to do that. So I think New Year's resolutions can put a lot of pressure on people. I've always been a goal-oriented person. And so I've always looked at the new year as write the goals down, Q1 through Q4. Last year, I didn't have any of that. I was in a very dark place. It was just stark difference between last year and this year for a lot of reasons. This year, I feel like it's the first year I've gone into prior to January 1, knowing what I wanted my year to look like and having this theme of hope kind of just scattered throughout every area of my life. It's the first year I've ever had a saying for the year. I know a lot of people say they have a word or a saying for the year. I've never really felt that. I've never felt called to that. I have gone through different years where I'll put a lot of pressure on myself to work out every day and do all these things and the very unrealistic, unhealthy, wrong motive. Yeah. I feel like I'm finally in my 30s, honestly, has been just where I have the motivation is healthy. And I believe in goals. I believe in having a vision. I believe in writing things down. I believe in talking to your community about it so that they can hold you accountable and encourage you. And so whatever that looks like for you, I don't think you need to hit January 1 and know what that looks like. If you need time, if you need more of January to pray through it or think through it, depending on what your beliefs are. But I definitely spent a lot of time. I think that's why I'm so grateful we just both took December to be, because I just heard the Lord so clearly. And honestly, starting December off with that missions trip and having my friends and you just pouring into me of just different things that I've learned over the last year. So I believe in resolutions 100% as long as the motive's healthy. Yeah. And the resolution, I don't love that word. I think it needs to be like, what's your prayer for this year? What's your vision for this year? Where do you want it to go? Because the thing is, the other side of it is like you just kind of fall into a new year. Nothing changes when the calendar year changes, Like we can say, oh, it's January 1, 2025. It's like, well, nothing. Have you changed? And we don't change that quickly. But I think like just because the calendar year has changed, it's you that has to do the work. It's you that has to show up to the workout class. It's you that has to put your phone on Do Not Disturb. It's you that has to turn your light off and get enough sleep. So I think with resolutions, I would change that word into prayers and dreams and vision and goals. I wouldn't put a ton of pressure around it to have it done by a certain date, but I would really put some emphasis on it around January if you don't have it yet. And then I'd write it down, put it up, tell your people, and set some goals for yourself. Because I think one of the worst things we can do as humans is just go about our day every day, and we're going to look up one day and be 50 years old and wonder where our life went. What happened? Where did it go? What did I do? Like, was I okay? And I think really doing some heart work and asking your people, hey, what areas do you think I could work in? That's a really hard question to ask, but I think it's a really honest one. Or totally. I asked my friends the other day, like when we were talking about, my prayer and stuff, I was like, I know what kind of guy I want and the kind of guy I'm praying for, but what do you see?
That's so great.
For me, like what strengths and characteristics and qualities do you think that he needs to have? Yes. And so I think it's just important to have conversations around that. Oh my gosh, it's a amazing. Really long-winded answer. The summary of that is just great. Yeah. Like put it out there.
I love it.
Be intentional.
I love it. And I think too, like you even said, this was your first year that you had a phrase, expect a miracle with uncommon hope. And I think some people are like, I don't know my word for the year. That's a big, like, how do I decide something for 12 months? That is hard. Yes. But also what you've done in the past that encouraged me, and I've talked about this multiple times, is the word of the month. Yeah. And I think that's so cool. And I'm continuing that this year of just like, I want to do a word every month, because I do think resolutions sometimes can feel huge. If it's like, I'm going to do this every single day. Like last year, I don't know if it was a resolution, but it was like a desire. I wanted to read the Bible. I've never read through the whole Bible. And so I started on a Bible reading plan and I did it. Yeah, December 31st.
Proud of you.
And it was so cool. But it's like, then what? Then you just stop, and I stop reading my Bible because I hit my goal. And it's like, no, how do I make it a habit that can carry on to this year too? It's not just key. Like a checklist of do it and done. And so I think what's helpful is breaking it up to saying, one, how is this something that I can continually add into my life and make it part of who I am, not just a thing to say I did it. Yeah. And so I think that's important. And also I was going to share another journal I brought because my sweet Aunt Lorraine, I love her so much, but she gave me a gift at the beginning of January. She said it was for birthday month, but she's told me about this podcast. It's called The Next Right Thing, and it's by Emily P. Freeman. So good. And I'll also link the journal in the show notes too. But yeah, the podcast is called The Next Right Thing, and there is a guided journal for it. And what's really cool about this is it's what you said about how you said, I break things into Q1, Q2.
Mm-hmm.
I think breaking them into quarters or seasons, however you want to view it, is so helpful. And what's cool about this journal is I don't always love like a guided journal thing because I like to just journal what's on my heart and write. But it has some intentional questions for looking ahead, because I think something I've noticed about myself is I'm good at looking back. I'm good at reflecting. I'm good at seeing, what did I learn from that? I'm going to read through these journals, but to take time and say, what am I looking ahead at? And so it'll say, like, let me pull this up. Okay. So it'll have a look ahead list for blank, and then it has whatever season. And so season, winter, or as you say, Q1. And it's like travel. So then it helps me think, what are my upcoming travel? How can I budget for that?
Love.
What trips do I have? What deadlines do I have? What's going on in the family? And I'm like, oop, February, I have another niece, and just like being aware of that. What celebrations are coming up? Things
I love
to prepare
this.
for guests, community. And so I think it's nice because, again, it's like the quarter vision board. It's the quarterly, seasonally, what's coming up. And then from that, you take the next right step. What's the next right thing?
Love this.
To get you there. And so I'm going to be interested. I've never done something like this. I've never had this journal before. So I'm excited to use this alongside my regular journaling.
Yeah, I love that.
And just kind of have like a couple steps looking forward.
I love that.
While also trying to be present and journal and continually looking back and reflecting.
I love the name of that because we always talk about this. I say this a lot in my classes, like do the next right thing.
I know.
It's constantly like, hey, it disarms this pressure to like know what to do.
Yes.
And instead of trying to look at the whole staircase and figure out how you're going to figure this out, it's like, no, just take the next step.
You don't have
the
to
next
know.
right thing. You don't have to know. I feel like prompts like that too are going to be so fruitful for you at the end of this year to look back.
Yeah.
I know you love to look back, and I think that's a gift that you have and a strength. And it's funny too. I feel like I've struggled with dreaming big. I think my friends can dream really big for me. I think it's easy to dream big for your friends. I think it's harder to look at your life and go, what am I capable of? But I think that's something that really comes with goal setting. Like we used to talk about this where we used to work, the BHAG goal, the big, hairy, audacious goal. Like what is the big thing that you want?
Also, is that something other people say, or was that just a Ramsey
I don't know.
thing?
I say it a lot, and
I wondered that too.
I think people talk about it, right?
Is that a business thing?
I think it's
or
a business
just
thing.
A Ramsey thing.
It might be a Ramsey thing.
So anyways, guys, if you hear us say
BHAG, that's what that big, hairy, audacious goal,
like your big goal, not just like a goal, but like the big
hairy, audacious goal. I
just remember when I first started working there,
I wonder,
everybody casually used it.
I feel like it's like
so maybe it's a business word.
A business. If it's not, then we're just a bunch of weirdos talking about hairy goals. But but I love that, and I love journaling, and I feel like if you're taking anything away from this episode, is to write it down, because I think too we have a really bad memory as humans, and we forget not only the things that God has done for us, but we forget the things that we said we were going to do. One of my favorite things to say in class is to say, do the thing that you said you'd do. And I always tell my classes I'm really proud of them because they showed up. And it's enough to show up, but then you get in the room and okay, now we got to work. Like, let's work.
Yes.
Like, do the thing you said you do. Run hard on this run. Don't just, give it half of your effort. Like, give it everything that you have.
Yes.
So
I will literally tell my girls that in my life coaching sessions too. I think one of the greatest ways to build confidence in ourselves, like when girls want to be more confident, is do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
If I say I'm going to do this, then follow through. And it's like, then you just grow in this confidence of like, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm headed. I know what I'm doing. It builds our confidence.
It does. No, it totally does. And I think that's, again, when you're going into, we're already in the new year. So if you still are yet to kind of figure out your goals, or you feel like one, it's not too late, but two, like make sure that they're goals that you feel like you can follow through with. Because I think the worst thing that could happen is you set these goals that, again, don't align with your values or are kind of way out there, and then you're going to beat yourself and your confidence is going to go down. But if you can do the thing that you said you do and commit to that, you're going to build your confidence, which is the whole point anyways, build your character. So I think that'll be great.
So all this to say, like, there is not a right way and a wrong way to do it. And I think that's what Kenzie and I hope as we're sharing this is just like you can do a vision board, you can journal, you can reflect, you can look forward, you can pray, you can read your Bible, you can do whatever. And there's so many different ways, and there's journals and there's prompts, and there are so many things of ways you can do this. Again, there is not a right and a wrong.
Yeah.
But I think the importance is just taking time to reflect, to set your intentions, and don't let life just like pass by without that intentional time, whether it's with a group of friends, maybe sit down and you talk and you say, like, hey, is there anything you see in me that I can work on? Or maybe it is one-on-one, or maybe it's by yourself and with the Lord, and just taking time to do that. But I just think our hope and prayer for this podcast episode today specifically is just to encourage you to think, reflect, share with us anything too. Message us on here, on Instagram, wherever, and let us know what y'all do, because there are so many things out there. And so anyways, we would just love to hear what y'all do too.
Would love it. We just want to hear from you. So don't ever be afraid to slide into the DMs. And just remember,
even if last year was good, bad, or maybe not what you expected, his mercies are new every morning, and it's a new day. Let's welcome 2025.